Feels kind of good now that I'm sitting out here. Kind of an overcast morning. I think it's 54 degrees. Not sure if we got much rain last night or really any at all. The grass out here is always, I don't know. I guess they just don't get that much rain, or it's a different type of grass, or it goes dormant, or I don't know. The environment in Wyoming is different than I'm used to back home. And the things are just kind of a little browner here. Seems like this grass would dry up and blow away. It looks so brown. But anyway. Hello, RJ. Hello, Roger. Kind of achy and kind of sore this morning. Wanda says it's 80 here in Florida this morning. 80 doesn't sound too bad. I know it gets hot and humid down there in Florida. Hello, Mary from Belvedere, Illinois. My sister used to live in Belvedere very recently. I probably said it. She lives in Roscoe now. Yeah, she lives in Roscoe now, but she lived in Belvedere for a while. Jack Taylor's telling me there were big storms in Chicago yesterday. I heard something about that. I had some customers last night from Minneapolis, and they said they had some big storms as well, but they missed it because they were here in Yellowstone. Hello from Tennessee, Benji. But good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Monday morning. It is July 15th. It is 6:36 a.m. Happy Monday. And Lisa, good morning to you. And Will Bill, thank you for joining. This is a show I've been doing for a long, long time. It's a show about me talking. It's a show about me sharing my feelings, sharing some ups and downs I go through in life. I don't think my ups and downs are really that much. I mean, I do some different things, and I've always taken slightly maybe out there life choices. Maybe not the best choices, maybe the best choices, maybe somewhere in the middle. And it is a show about me talking, and just a show about a guy going through life, trying to do his best, and not claiming to be perfect or anything extraordinary in any way, other than, I don't know, been through a fair amount and had a lot of life experiences, and seems to have a want and an ability to express himself in a way that either inspires people or agitates the heck out of them. Yeah, I can't control other people. I've learned that. But either way, for those that have been watching a while, this is really what I need. For those that have been watching a while, Sharon's looking forward to me seeing me buy my RV. I tell you what, I am too, Sharon. Thank you for saying that. For those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. Hold on, RJ. What's my niche? I don't have a niche. If I got a niche, it's driving people, and I think it's always been my way. I've had usually 80-90% of people really like me for some reason. I'm not saying I'm great. I'm not saying you should like me. I'm not saying I'm sweet as cherry pie. And then, I don't know, 10-15% really don't like me at all. And it seems no matter what I do or what lessons I learn or what platform I'm on, I've always felt it. Like in school, I don't know. It's always pretty popular, but some people would really, really not like me for some reason. Or even when I'm going up to a cashier Most of them would smile and be happy and be friendly and say, hey, you really made my day. Some would scowl. 1 out of 10 would scowl. And I've kept that ratio as I've gone through life. And I'll tell you what, it's probably a pretty good ratio. It's probably a pretty good ratio. But because I put myself out there so much, yeah, I get a lot of nice messages, but yet still, even when 10% of them are these weird, hateful messages, I've never really understood it. So what's my niche? I don't have a niche. Just a guy doing his best, drinking some coffee. Which gets me back to this. For those, some people don't like anyone. Is that what it is, Donna? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I just don't, I never have understood. It's not like the words even bother me. It's not. But I'm just confused. And I'll go, what the? What the? You know, I don't even care if, like, when somebody says something negative, I don't even care if they're right or wrong. It's just, I don't understand the motivation to say something negative. I mean, unless I'm really pissed off. You know, I go through trying to help other waiters and cheer them on and tell people they're doing a great job. Yeah, I just don't have any, the capacity to hate. It doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't hurt me, but it confuses me. But even a little bit, there's pressures doing this, because like Sharon said right a few minutes ago that she's excited to see me buy the RV, and believe me, so am I. But I take on a lot of pressures in the world and a lot of responsibility, and now I feel I don't want to let Sharon down. And what if I decide I want to do something else? Sharon's going to be bummed. Some people get triggered by something that reminds them of someone they don't like. Is that what it is? Low burning spite. Roger Leone says he likes Casey's Pizza. I've heard good things about Casey's Pizza. It's the number 4 pizza retailer in the country. Okay, Sharon, as long as we understand. No, I still want to buy my RV too, but I just don't want to feel like I'm letting anybody down in any way. I don't want to feel like I'm letting anybody down in any way. Let's hear a weekend update. What are our next steps? It's Monday morning. Hold on. For those that have been watching a while, again, it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me, and I am so excited to have my first sip at this late hour for me. My hope is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. It's kind of nice today. It felt quiet yesterday, and it feels a little quiet today. And there's a haze out. Not a haze. Maybe I heard there was huge fires burning in Montana. Maybe that has something to do with the haze. And runaway wildfires probably aren't a good thing. But something I find peaceful about the haze. I remember I think it was last summer, I was in Chicago, living in Chicago, my hometown, and I was working at Target, and I'd come out, and it would seem the sky wouldn't be so blue, and that the sun looked kind of funny. And I heard there was these fires in Canada that were causing it. Again, runaway wildfires probably aren't a good thing for those that are in the midst of it, but there's something neat how something going on, a fire in a country, 1,000 miles to the north or whatever, could impact what's going on around here. And maybe that's what I'm seeing, this little gentle haze. And usually it's so bright and sunny here, and the sky is so blue. Maybe it's just giving my eyes a little bit of a rest this morning. And maybe my eyes needed a little bit of a rest this morning. So let's have some more coffee. Uh, I was wondering, again, because I would think about a lot of things. Is this doing the right thing? I want to share my experiences, hoping they help others and hoping people can learn a little bit when I talk about sobriety, how my life's changed when I don't drink, or maybe sharing some of my struggles helps a little bit as well. But sometimes I'm wondering, again, I wonder, am I doing the right thing? Is the format right for me? Is going live every day right? I woke up this morning kind of feeling achy and tired. I worked last night. I worked from 11 to 11 as a waiter. I'm telling you, that's very physically demanding and mentally draining. It's no wonder that waiters seem to have a lot of vices, whether it be drinking or smoking or what have you, because there's a great need to unwind after a long shift or a chaotic shift or stressful shift. And I usually go home. I always go home, and I am not able to sleep for an hour or so. So I lay around and I'm going, crud, I gotta get up early. We better go to sleep. It's not always meant to be. Maybe syndication on a local public access station or radio. Pick up those royalties. I like the way you're thinking, Roger. What about NCTV? Roger, it's funny you brought NCTV up to me. Roger, I don't even know who you are. You say it's me, Roger, as if, do we know each other? Apparently you're from Naperville because you know of NCTV. I went to them about 3 years ago, and I was doing, at the time I'd been going live for a while, and it might not have been 3 years, it might have been 2. But either way, they weren't overly interested in my content at the time or what have you. This is going to sound like bragging a little bit. And it probably is bragging a little bit. But I get far more viewership than NCTV. Naperville City Television or something like that. What about NCTV? Well, that's nothing. I work 12 hours a day at the... Okay. I like watching Dana being Dana. I don't know who that is. How many, poop moments yesterday? You mean working? Yesterday, I was a damn good waiter, by the way. I think it might have been my most controlled, profitable, feeling like a quality waiter that I've had, certainly since I've been here. I'm not sure why that was. I think my emotions might have been just the right temperature, running fast enough to keep up with the pace, but cool enough not to go crazy myself. I think I handled the customers and the coworkers and the dining room with a confidence that I don't think I've had since I've been here. And it felt kind of nice. It felt like I was good yesterday. Sometimes I question. Most times I question it, because most days you don't feel in control. Waiting tables. Most days you're wondering when your food's coming out, or if you've ordered this, or heaven forbid you ever spill anything. And I keep my fingers crossed. I still really haven't ever spilled anything in my whole waiter career. Maybe somewhere in there I dropped a drink, but I don't know. I've certainly never dropped a whole tray. And it happens. It happens. It'd be horrible. You're going to lease for greener pastures and bows. Maybe you're less stressed. No. I don't think that's it at all. Peanut M&Ms help build confidence. Casey's General. You're so right. And maybe that's part of my problem. Maybe. Casey's General said peanut M&Ms. Everyone knows. Hey, well, Ronald Reagan did pretty well, and he had a soft spot for jelly beans. And I got a soft spot for peanut M&Ms. And when I get to a store that has a party-sized bag of peanut M&Ms, I'll tend to pick it up. And it's a whole lot of servings. and I usually finish it in 2 days. But again, I'm as lean generally as I want to be. I burn a ridiculous amount of calories walking around. And I think the real key to losing weight when you're a waiter isn't the steps you're taking, although that probably helps. It's the fact that you're working for 8 straight hours and you're not eating anything during those 8 hours. I don't think you can help but lose weight at that time. So to make up for that, I binge occasionally, and I binge whether it be something in the cafeteria that looks good, covered with a thick layer of Maverick. He's one of those 1 out of 10. Hello, Maverick son. Hello, Maverick son. I hear you don't like me. I have a viewer just say, my son told me to turn you off. Sounds like he doesn't like you. If you were here, I would give you a big warm hug. But anyway, so at night, sometimes I'll come home after 8 hours of work and be kind of hungry. And there'll be some peanut M&Ms left. And last night there were, and I finished them. Maybe that doesn't help my sleep patterns. It may not help my sleep patterns. Getting a bunch of sugar right before you lay down. It's probably not good. Is your son's name Max, Maverick, or is your name Max? If Max needs a hug, whether Max is a son or a daughter or a dog or a cat, I'll give him a hug. Should have just had a nice warm glass of milk. I don't know if I've ever actually had a nice warm glass of milk. And that doesn't surprise me. RJ seems to have strange food fetishes. Nothing he ever suggests. He always wants to put something weird, like, I don't know, make up, like pickles on a pizza, for instance, or pickles in peanut butter sandwich, or do the hottest chip eating challenge, or take ice cold showers. It seems, and I like RJ, but it seems whatever he likes, I think, is strange. So I would assume, conversely, whatever I like, he must think is strange. Yet he watches my show. So let's have a little more coffee. But I'd like to talk about things that matter. But you can't talk about, I don't want to sit and get on a high horse and talk about sobriety, or talk about going to church, or talk about working out, or loving yourself, or these are all things I kind of picked up along the way. I kind of picked up along the way that the journey that is life, certainly the journey that has been Coffee with Ken. But I don't want to sit down and go, hey guys, I'm going to talk about not drinking today and give you the 5 benefits of not drinking or whatever. So I don't want to have a niche. And maybe that's my problem, but maybe it's a blessing. And maybe because of that, I get to go live every day and ramble for X amount of time. RJ says, I like pepperoni and garlic thin crust pizza. Is that okay? It's okay. Everything you say is okay. I've never been one to ask for garlic on my pizza. Pepperoni obviously is one of my favorite ingredients. The other day, I went and had my first pizza in 2 months, and I ordered a pepperoni, sausage, and black olive, because I think black olive's really nice on pizza. But I will tell you, as I was eating my pizza, I thought for a second, and one ingredient that I think's awesome on a pizza is onions. And because it's not everybody's favorite cup of tea, you don't get a chance to order onions on a pizza that often, or at least I don't, because I'm not trying to make any waves. But I really like them, and I almost wished, and I wasn't bothered by the black olives or anything I had going with the pizza, but I was almost wishing I would have traded the black olives out for onions. Mary wants to know, somebody asked if I still run. No, I do not still run. I used to run marathons. I have a bad right knee. Before I came here, honestly, people wonder why I came out to Yellowstone. And I get asked that a lot. And people ask, no matter how many times I answer it, They'll go, I'm still waiting for an answer why you came out here. And that's the problem. Because you can answer their question a million times. And somebody on Instagram said, don't respond to it wasn't a typical hater comment. It was somebody angry about me about real estate, and I responded to. And he said, don't respond to the haters. It'll just lead you down the wrong path. And he was right, and that's good advice. Because no matter how many times you answer their question, they'll keep twisting the question and throwing it back at you. And then your whole subject matter is about whatever they hate about you. Whether it's something I said about real estate, or something I said about Alcoholics Anonymous, or something I said about habits or faith or working out or whatever. Because it just doesn't do any good. Because for the people that want to see a problem, they're going to see a problem. Yeah. But I don't still run. I came out here because they were offering, and I'll answer it to the person that keeps commenting, you still haven't answered the question why you're waiting tables in Wyoming. I was offered a job as a waiter, and I didn't know if I could physically handle it. I got a bad knee, and I'm 55 years old. And along with this job, I was offered housing and food for $500 a month. And as a twice divorced man who has a lot of financial responsibilities, having a roof over my head and being fed was appealing. So I took this job, and I've been housed, and I've been fed for $500 a month. And I've learned a lot of things out here. So that is why I am here. So the person that always says they're still waiting for an answer, there's your answer. But anyway, what I've learned while I'm here is I kind of enjoy waiting tables, and that I'm pretty good at it, and that I can have fun with it and have fun with the kitchen staff and most of my co-workers. It's not paradise. We butt heads. It's a stressful environment. Everybody's running around waiting for a computer or waiting to get a Coke or what have you. So it's a stressful environment, and there's some personality conflicts from time to time, but they usually work themselves out because I think everyone understands that we're all under a lot of stress. But I do kind of enjoy it. The pay's pretty good. The hours can be challenging, and it's mentally tiring and physically demanding. But I do enjoy it, and I am pretty good. And because of that, I've realized that my body can handle it, and that I could be a waiter anywhere, whether it be in Bozeman or back in Chicago. And the issue with both Bozeman and back in Chicago is the same issue that I was facing before. It's that housing's pretty expensive. But I've realized in waiting tables that you can make enough money to cover a fair amount of financial expenses and still have some money left over. So it's opened my eyes, to that I have the confidence that I am pretty good at this, and that I work hard, and that I kind of enjoy it. So it's opened my eyes now to I could do this anywhere. So when my contract runs out in October, or if duty calls sooner than that, I could pack up and I could go to wherever I needed to be and find a job working some number of hours as a waiter and work hard and do my best and make some money and cover my financial responsibilities and continue to do my show. Lisa, thank you for saying that. When we leave, there's a long one. Amen to the haters and wrong path. They pull you into their life miseries. The brain is the strongest asset. When we use to learn it properly, life is great. Oliver, that's a beautiful thing, because I think your attitude is, I've been mired in yuckiness. I've been divorced twice, and let me tell you, I say they were very painful. I don't know if there's not a painful divorce, but the pits of my despair and my depression and my sadness and my loneliness and my hurt and all the yucky stuff were when I let my mental attitude go down the drain. And if you can keep your mental attitude good, life can be great. And when you wake up, even if it's early and you're going to a job that on this particular day doesn't sound uh, uh, fun, if you can find a couple things to be thankful for or realize that you're blessed in so many ways, the job's going to go better, your day's going to go better. Eventually you're more likely to get promoted, be happier, and come home in a good mood to your family and your wife and what have you. Can I see my confidence has rose in the last 7 weeks? It definitely has. Again, I just in the work, I was a realtor. And because of that, I struggled finding ways to keep productive. You don't spend that much time in front of your customers, so you're door knocking or you're cold calling or you're stuffing brochures or you're going to parties saying that you're a realtor. And I never felt, no matter how hard I worked, that I would really see the benefits to it. And coming here, I realized I can work hard, do a job most people my age probably couldn't do or might not want to, but let's see them do it. Work hard and have a good attitude. And I tell you what, I was up in Bozeman and I was talking to a nice restaurant up there this weekend. And I don't think the opportunity is going to work for me for a bunch of different reasons. But I felt so confident talking to her and knowing that what she's going to get from me is somebody that works hard and has a good attitude every day. Am I a perfect waiter? Am I a perfect father? Am I a perfect friend? No. And I can say that. I go, look, I'm not perfect as a waiter. But if you want somebody that's going to work hard and have a good attitude and be good with customers, that's me. I'll tell you what, most places do. So yeah, the fact that I'm still not tempted to drink or smoke, I was a little worried about that. I know the waiter life is stressful. I know a lot of people drink and smoke after they work, but I still don't want to do it. I feel confidence that I was able to drive across the country in a scooter. It was demanding and it was terrifying. And I did it. And there were times I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did it. But I do miss my kids, and I do miss some things about, I don't want to call it society, because society is wherever you are, but community living and people. And I look forward to getting home and seeing my kids and seeing my friends and seeing the people I know and at Starbucks and seeing people I don't know as I walk through grocery stores and smile and cashiers I meet and make laugh. And I miss people. Good morning, Rich Sternicle. Always happy when Rich joins. Sometimes I have people join and my ex-wife watches from time to time. My brothers watch. I got friends from high school that watch. I have waiters across the way. I had a young lady come up to me and tell me how disappointed she was in me yesterday while I was working. And she and I really hadn't crossed paths. She's a server assistant. She works hard. She's a good employee. I didn't think I had any interaction with her at this point. And I was going, oh, really? What have I done that made you so disappointed in me today? You and I don't even really know each other that well, and I don't think we've talked today, yet you're still very disappointed in me. And she said that they were watching me do my Coffee with Ken show from the dining room yesterday, and that one of my coworkers commented, look into the dining room, and that I did not see the comment nor look into the dining room. So, young lady who won't be named, if you're watching right now, I'm looking into the dining room and I'm waving. I don't see a group of people. It's funny. Sometimes we're real crowded, and then sometimes we're not crowded at all. And when we're not crowded at all, people have some time to spend, and may spend it watching Coffee with Ken. She's a fine-looking young lady. She's a fine-looking young lady, but alas, like a lot of the young ladies that work here, she's a young lady with her whole life ahead of her in a different phase and doing different things. I am going down to coffee with a friend today, and I can't tell you how excited I am. We're going to ride down to Gardner, Montana. Going to take my scooter. Be the second time I've ridden somebody down the windy road into Gardner, Montana. It's about 4 or 5 miles straight that way. I guess it'd probably be north. One of the twistiest roads you're ever going to see. Last time I did it, I took a bartender, kind of heavier set bartender that, he's not heavy set, but he's going to weigh more than he weighs more than my passenger will today. And wasn't sure it was going to be safe riding down with a guy that probably, I don't know, weighs whatever. And but I managed to get down safely. The ride was easy, and it was kind of beautiful. And he appreciated the ride. I'm looking forward to riding down with this person today, and maybe spending a couple hours drinking coffee and having communication and talking and getting to know this person better. And I don't know, just again, I miss people, and being out here, I've kind of pulled back because a lot of the people here, no real reason. No real reason. Maybe I wanted a little solitude or craved a little solitude, but I still do miss personal interaction. It'll be nice to talk to somebody and find out their story and hang out with for a couple hours over a cup of coffee. Lisa says she's so happy for me that I continue my sobriety. I think you could get a management job anywhere with my real estate. I think I do well in management because I think there's all sorts of types of management. I think this is how I respond, and I guess I would respond to me. But somebody that goes out of their way to encourage and help and assist and be positive and be motivational, but also has a fairly firm hand. And I think you need it. If somebody's totally slacking, I think you need to have the capacity to have a firmer hand and speak out and be consistent. And I think I could do well in management. But I appreciate you saying that, Lisa. And the funny thing for me, sobriety's really not even a choice. It's just kind of who I am. I talk about it a lot on, not a lot, but we'll touch on it. Because I clip all these videos into shorts and reels and TikToks later. And I'm about a month behind editing. Anytime I bring up AA, I'm not bashing AA. If it works for you, God bless you, do whatever. But I just want people to know that I did not have to go to AA or work through the 12 steps to stop drinking. And for some reason, there's a group in AA that finds that concept offensive. And I don't get it. It's like being part of the group is more important than the sobriety. And I think that's just so weird. I don't understand it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I didn't do it. And I'm not tempted to drink. Chipbot, day 160 for me. Way to go. When I smell pot, am I ever tempted? Well, I will say the smell of marijuana is attractive. But I just know my brain, I'd lose some IQ points for that period of time, and the next day I'd giggle. And, if I could do it once and watch a cool movie, I'd probably do it. But I know if I did it that night, I'd do it the next morning, and I'd do it all the next week, and I'd probably buy some more. Roger says he still likes his glass of Cabernet every once in a while. God bless you for having a glass of Cabernet. I wish I could have a glass of Cabernet. I talk about it a lot. I went to Lake Yellowstone about a month ago, and it would have been a perfect spot to have a glass of wine with somebody you love and watch the waves crash. But as a guy who doesn't drink wine and is sort of recently divorced, it wasn't fitting for me, and I was lonely. But I know if I had a glass of wine, I'd have another, and I'd want another. It's just like with the peanut M&Ms. It's just like with the peanut M&Ms. I don't have a whole lot of, I drink a lot of coffee. I drank a lot of beer. Yeah. But it's Monday morning. Kind of like Monday morning. Stock market is opening up in about 20 minutes. I don't have any money to invest, but I still enjoy kind of watching the market from afar. And it feels so from afar when you're here in Yellowstone, in the western suburbs of Chicago, or working downtown. Everywhere you go, or so many places will have CNBC, the market updates on, that it feels like it's breaking news all the time. But you kind of got to seek out news here. You have to seek out news here. And I have to purposefully go to the app and see what the market's doing. RJ asked, what's my stock of the day? I don't have a stock of the day. I don't have a stock that I think is going up. The market seems to go up. I'll promise you, when you're looking from afar, the market goes up way more than it goes down. And over time goes up. And that's probably a good thing to invest in. And when it goes down, it usually goes down pretty quickly and pretty fiercely. But over time, the market goes up way more than it goes down. I did see, and I don't want to be political, but we talked about it yesterday. Somebody asked what I thought about the thing that happened at that Trump rally. And I said it's sad. I hate to see any political candidate or any violence of any sort on anybody, especially when there's loss of life. And obviously at a big time like a presidential election. But I did say near the end of my talk yesterday that I thought it would be good for Trump's candidacy. And this isn't a show of support for him, but I just think, I don't know, bleeding and getting shot at and then getting back up and pumping your fist is going to be a really good image. Yeah. And I thought it would be good for his candidacy. And I saw this morning when I flipped on CNBC that, hold on one second. There we go. That his stock, whatever it's called, Trump Media or whatever, was up 50%. And that didn't surprise me. Trump and the Republican convention in Milwaukee this week. Is it really? Is it really? I didn't know that. It's funny. Is it really that? Are ETFs a good idea? Exchange-traded funds? I'd say they are. I think the biggest problem with exchange-traded funds, they allow you to invest in a whole asset class. You can buy an exchange-traded fund on like gold, I think, or silver, or oil, or stocks, or what have you. And I think the QQQ, for instance, is an exchange-traded fund. It's kind of like buying a mutual fund with really low cost. You can invest, like the QQQ is investing in the entire NASDAQ, not the entire, but a good representative of the NASDAQ market, the tech stocks, and with really low costs. I'd say the biggest problem with exchange-traded funds is you can track them so closely. And you can buy an exchange-traded fund at 30, and when it hits 37, you might be tempted to sell out of it. Versus maybe a mutual fund, you're not going to track that closely, and I think that'd be the biggest issue with those. His media company has no long-term viability. Well, Roger, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not, but you certainly have a right to your opinion. So yeah, you might be right. I don't know, but it's up 50% today because of that, and that's my point. But it's 7:14. The stock market starts in 16 minutes. Oh boy. Just thinking back to my brokerage days. I mean, we were cold calling before then. We started cold calling at 8 o'clock Chicago time. Sometimes we'd cold call earlier. We'd cold call at 7. You could call the East Coast. That wasn't a fun job. That wasn't a fulfilling job. The paychecks could be ridiculously huge. Ridiculously huge. And I do mean ridiculous. But it wasn't a fun job. RJ wants to know do I think the world record will be broken for the marathon this Olympics? I would say strongly no. I don't think the Olympic marathon is a place where world records get broken ever. I don't know if there's ever been a world record in the marathon, because marathon is a tough beast, and you got to set out to achieve. And I don't even know who's running. I don't even know who is running. I don't know the names of the competitors like I used to when I was a kid, and I used to know Rob DiCostella and I don't know, a bunch of famous marathoners, and I don't know them these days. But in the marathon in the Olympics, you got to set out to break a world record. You got to purposefully do it. You have to know you're going for a world record or bust, and the Olympics are about winning and the gold medal. At least at that event, sure, you can get a world record in the 100-meter because you're going all out no matter what. But in the marathon, it's a little more strategy, and I think it'd be really hard because you want to win the race to try and get a world record. What sector do I think funds are flowing this election year? I don't really know at all. And again, it feels funny because normally I'd have more opinions about that, and I like the market, and I kind of miss it in some ways, although I kind of don't in other ways. But I'm really so far removed that, again, I barely knew the Olympics were coming up, or that the Republican convention was this year. What countries are strongest in the marathon? A lot of countries in Africa do real well. A lot of countries in Africa. Occasionally there will be, an American that does real well. There's been great Japanese marathoners. I mentioned Rob DiCostella. I forget where he was from, but there's been some great British marathoners. There's usually some, but I think the African countries have dominated the marathon for a long time. Kenya is great runners from Kenya. I would imagine if you're in Kenya and your most famous athletes from your country are runners, you would aspire to be a runner. And I imagine living in Kenya, it's probably could be a hard life. And because of that, you're willing to put in the work and the effort and the training that are required to be a world-class runner. Well, thank you, Evan. Thank you for saying that. 7:18. It's 7:18. I got to wrap this up. I wasn't even thinking I was going to go live today because that happens most of my days. But anyway, I got to wrap this up because I get to go in and have some little breakfast, get to go refill my coffee, get to chug some coffee, and get to pick up a friend at 8 o'clock this morning for our ride down to Gardner, Montana. Hope we still can ride. It's a little chilly. I mean, I know I can ride. Hope they're still game. Because I'm looking forward to having some company and enjoying some coffee in a restaurant down in Gardner, and having some good conversation, and enjoying my day. And I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you had a great night's sleep. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope your coffee is hot. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.